Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Skepsis. This is Christos from Washington State, which today is cold and rainy. Thank you so much for joining. Today we have very exciting news, interesting topic. Yesterday, SundaeSwap published a Medium article where they explain all the models that they had to go through in order to reach the final decision to launch their governed scooper model. And why is that so important? Because that solves the concurrency issue on the EUTXO model that Cardano is using for smart contracts. Once this is launched, then everybody can start writing applications on the Cardano Network. Decentralized exchanges, dApps will be arriving, and we will see a huge spike in the usage of the Cardano Network. So here is the article. SundaeSwapFinance.medium.com. It says here that it's a 20 minutes read, but I woke up at 5 and was reading it until 7 to really understand what's going on here. So I'll try to make a little video to just pinpoint the strong points here. The scooper model. That's how they named it. So what they say here is that they tried quite a bit of approaches. The Uniswap clone, open batching, tokenized escrows, mixed escrows, and programmable order book. And once they found out that the first one had some issues, they were moving on to the next one, and so on until they reached the governed scooper. On each of these models that they were trying, they were evaluating these criteria. Scalability, how many users can it sustain or how many transactions per second. Contention, like how often there is a failure in your transaction, you have to send it again, or if you put an order and then it doesn't go through, you have to send again the order. Miner extractable value is a metric that shows how easy is it for a miner or validator to become a not fair player, like try to make money in disadvantage of the users. Decentralization, how robust is a protocol against being halted by a single party? Like, is there one point of failure, or is it decentralized? Denial of service, how easy it is for somebody to do a big number of requests and break the functionality of the service, bring it on its knees. Volume independence is how much volume, what kind of market capture does it need before it becomes usable? Is it easy to work from 5 users, or it needs 1,000 users to be actually really usable? And development effort is actually how hard is it for the developing team to implement it. This is a chart they designed to show which one is the best. So it looks here that the governed scooper is the winner because it has all these green little faces. Rejected solutions. So each of these models that they explained above, they would try it and see where it was not performing very well. And they would identify the weaknesses, and then they would build on the next one. So in the first case, the open batching model, which is just the following. Let's say Alice wants to sell 10 Arberies for ADA, and then Bob wants to sell 5 Arberies for ADA. So when they send the transaction, their money is locked in an escrow I would say, smart contract that is being aggregated with others. So we have this guy here, and then we have this guy here. And then if there is a pool, a liquidity pool that already contains some ADA, this is the Arbery ADA pool. So this is an address on the Cardano blockchain that runs a smart contract which has Arbery and ADA tokens and is willing to exchange these. So once we have a number of people that want to do this swap, then the system runs one batch swap. So in one block, it validates all these. And then from this liquidity pool, let's say this had 30 ADA in it. It will send, according to the ratio, each Arbery, one Arbery equals 2 ADA. It will send 20 ADA to Alice, 10 ADA to Bob, and then the liquidity pool will contain 15 Arberies. So pretty much this is saying that you go into the DEX and you send your order to have a swap, and then a validator, somebody that will come and like swoop, as the ice cream scooper scoops some ice cream. They use the same term, to scoops a number of transactions and then has them validated, and everybody's happy. So these people that are going to compete, the scoopers, which are going to be SPOs at the moment, Cardano SPOs, some of them are going to run this scooping code to do the batch verification of these transactions. The user doesn't care. The user will just have his or her order executed. The problem, though, with this approach is if there is a malicious scooper and they want to perform a denial of service attack, they could just do batch swaps for only one and keep doing a number of batch swaps for one only transaction. And that will make the other batches wait. Let's say the other batch will have 1,000, but they will still have to wait for the one that has 1. And there is another issue also, which is very, very important. It is that if one scooper decides to play unfairly, they can order all their sell orders first, creating a downtrend in the market. And at this point, they can, let's say, buy some of their own, only to wait a little bit until the market equalizes again to the normal value. And then they perform their buy orders from their batch. So that will make an artificial increase. Here they can sell and make the profit from here to here. That is a sandwich attack. The first solution they tried was to issue escrow tokens. Each transaction was going to be issued with a token that would have a sorting number. So let's say you have 1, then the next one is 2, 3, 4, 5, and the batch swap would know in which order it has to execute the transactions. So it would get, let's say, from 1 to 100, and then the next time it will have to do the rest. It could not execute 100 before 90. But this solution ran into scaling issues. It would not be very fast. And before they abandoned the idea of tokens entirely, they considered trying to use a mix of the both previous methods. Having some users, if they wanted to go with a token, they could, or they could go without a token. This was going to guarantee a baseline order flow for the users that were willing to retry, but it still had the other problems with the denial of service, and they felt that their timeline was not enough for them to solve those issues. So they went on with the next method, the programmable order book. In this approach, the traders talk to each other pretty much because there is no market maker, and let's see how it works and in what issue they can get into. Let's say Jack wants to buy 20 Arberies and Jill wants to buy 10 Arberies. What does the market offer at the moment? Alice wants to sell 10, Bob wants to sell 15, and Carol wants to sell 12. So this is 37 here, available for sale, and only 30 are required. So this could go through. But what can happen is if Jill buys 10 Arberies directly from Bob, he only has 5 left. And then when Jack wants to buy 20, he can buy 10 from Alice, so he needs 10 more. But when he requests 10 from Bob, he doesn't have 10. So all this transaction is going to fail. So this problem can be solved in two directions. On one hand, you can go smaller and smaller and say break your orders into little ones, and eventually they will get filled, but that has problems with fees, because if you have 10 orders instead of 1, you will have 10 times the fees, and network congestion. On the other hand, though, if you try to get your orders bigger and bigger, let's say instead of trying to buy your 20 Arberies from Alice, you want to find somebody that has more than 20 to buy it in one shot, that person will always want to sell their tokens to somebody that wants a big order too. So that leads to the other side of the problem, which is order erosion. So both attempts are solving the initial problem but lead to other problems. This problem made them realize that it's not going to work without a market maker. So using some of their liquidity, they will buy and sell those orders once they're placed, giving the appearance of a fast transaction, but acting as a buffer. And because on the decentralized exchanges, it looks like most of the orders are thinly traded. For example, they look at Uniswap, which is one of the biggest. It has 8,000 trading pairs, but number 30 has only a couple of trades per hour. And that is a bad thing. If you send an order and it executes after 30 minutes, the market price could change. That's not a good feeling. So they feel that it's better to have a market maker, AMM as they call it, automated market maker, that would execute that trade with their own liquidity. With that in mind, they finally decided to go with the governed scooper model, which is the scooper model with an automated market maker. How it is going to work is that they are going to vet the scoopers, us, the staking pool operators, from the Cardano community. For example, I applied yesterday. I had to send my driver's license, my address, the name of my company that is affiliated with the pool. And after that, we will have a 30-day license. So every 30 days, there will be an evaluation. If the scoopers were being truthful, they will get their reward, the fees. If they were not, they will lose their license for the next 30 days and they will not get their rewards. And then let's see how the benchmarks worked for them. They compared with Uniswap, which had in these 3 days, November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, about 25,000, 26,000 transactions, which is about 18.66 transactions per minute. And they tried at some point before the Alonso Purple, it was about 120 transactions per minute, which is 170% more than the Uniswap. approach. And then when IOG increased the memory limits from 10 million to 30 million units, they would have 43 operations per minute, which is about 60% from the highest Uniswap estimate. But if the block sizes are changed in the Cardano blockchain, there could be a 30 times factor increase in the number of transactions. So that could bring us between 1,300 and 3,800 transactions per minute, which is impressive for a layer 1 solution. And all this is before even Hydra scaling comes into play. Whew, that was a long article. To summarize though, SundaeSwap are very close to releasing their solution for a decentralized exchange platform on the Cardano blockchain. A number of stake pool operators will be selected from the Cardano community to act as scoopers that will verify and validate the aggregated swaps from the users. Those validators will be awarded every 30 days a portion of the fees for their effort, and also to keep them from being bad actors. If they perform poorly, they will not be rewarded and they will lose their license forever, probably. That will be all for today, ladies and gentlemen. I tried to condense this huge article into a 15-minute video as best as I could. Feel free to investigate it further if you want to learn more, or ask any questions here. We will try to cover them. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel a lot. I need to reach 100 subscribers. And see you very soon. Bye bye.